Recently, Bitter Winter posted exclusive videos on a large-scale transformation through education camp in which Uyghurs are detained, located in the Yingye township of Yining City in Xinjiang. And these videos have drawn general concerns internationally. Now, Bitter Winter posts new exclusive material about the Yingye camp. Aside from the internal structure of the camp resembling that of a prison, our reporter also discovered some public signboards detailing the camp's internal management rules and regulations. According to public security personnel, some of these regulations are nearly identical to the management regulations of prisons. Instructions to the security section. The instructions to the security section clearly state, the section needs to make overall arrangements of armed police officers, public security personnel, security guards, and other forces. In fact, armed police officers and public security personnel are part of the state security forces. If it was an ordinary school, the daily routine of security would only require security guards. Regulations regarding family phone calls. The regulations include detailed provisions regarding contact between students and their families. The phone calls between inmates and family members is strictly restricted. Phone calls must be applied for and approved, and the length of each phone call is usually limited to under 5 minutes. Phone calls must be personally registered, personally dialed, and personally monitored by personnel members. In addition, the use of code words and secret language is prohibited. Inmates who do not comply with these rules will be punished with deprivation of family phone call privileges from 1 to 6 months based on various situations. Student Code of Conduct. On the Class Affairs board posted on the wall in the corridor, we noticed that the Code of Conduct for students contains a total of 26 regulations. Among these, Article 23 is especially noticeable. This article requires students to address armed police and special police officers as police officers, and address teaching assistants cadres as training officers. This is extremely similar to the code of conduct used for prison inmates. Duties of headmaster and Mandarin teacher. There are also headmasters and Mandarin Chinese teachers at the Transformation Through Education camp, and their responsibility is to indoctrinate students with an ideological and political education, and basically only students who speak Uyghur are required to learn Mandarin. Recently, Bitter Winter published a report, Studies in Prison, Staff Member Uncovers Details of a Xinjiang Camp, in which an employee reveals during his interview with Bitter Winter some details of a transformation through education camp in Xinjiang where he works. The Uyghur detainees are forced to learn Chinese. But even if a Uyghur manages to get a perfect score in Chinese, he or she will not be allowed to leave the camp. Teachers' job responsibilities. In one of the job responsibilities for teachers, teachers are required to strive hard to study Marxism-Leninism and Mao Zedong thought, adhere to the party's basic line, and teach students a proletarian philosophy. Heart-to-heart chat regulations. Article 1 of the regulations states that anti-extremism should be incorporated within the content of heart-to-heart chats, and emphasizes that through heart-to-heart chats, staff should gain a multifaceted understanding of students' ideological dynamics and strive to discover emerging and tendentious intelligence information and clues. As early as April 2017, CCP authorities enacted an anti-extremism regulation in Xinjiang. The regulation specifically targets Uyghurs with certain behaviors, such as wearing veils and growing long beards, as extremism and prohibited and suppressed. Apart from these rules and regulations, our reporter discovered in this secret visit a special room different from dormitories and classrooms, with a sign on the door reading Zhenbieshi. The original meaning of the Chinese word Zhenbie is to differentiate and distinguish, which emphasizes carrying out assessment, examination, identification, and verification in a cautious and serious manner. Inside the Transformation Through Education camp, what exactly should the screening room evaluate? Revealed by this staff member of the Transformation Through Education camp to Bitter Winter, the camp where he works divides Uyghurs into 4 levels: lenient supervision class, ordinary supervision class, strict supervision class, and enforced supervision class. A screening team regularly screens students to determine whether they have signed a statement of repentance and admitted their guilt. An assessment is then conducted, and students who do not pass are sent to a detention center. In view of the coercive measures that the authorities have already used on Uyghurs, a source infers that this screening room may be used to evaluate, using some special means, the degree of transformation and reform of students.